wake up. Look at where you are right now. Not where you thought you'd be, not where you wish you were, not where you tell other people you are, where you actually are. Be honest with yourself. For the first time in a long time, take full responsibility for where you are and stop waiting for someone else to fix your life. It sounds harsh, but it's the truth. Because as long as you're holding on to the idea that someone else is supposed to come along and rescue you, as long as you believe your healing depends on an apology you never got or an opportunity that never came, you will stay stuck exactly where you are. And the reason you feel stuck is not because life is unfair, even though it often is. It's not because people have failed you, even though they probably did. It's because you have not yet stood in front of the mirror and said, "This is my responsibility now. This is my life, and nobody is coming to live it for me." That's the shift. That's the wake up moment. Responsibility doesn't mean it was all your fault. Responsibility doesn't mean you deserved the pain or the setbacks. Responsibility doesn't mean you chose every bad thing that happened to you. Responsibility means that you are the one holding the pen to write the next chapter. And if you hand that pen over to your past or to other people or to your circumstances, then you're letting them dictate what your future looks like. When you blame, when you wait, when you hope that someone else will fix what's broken, you're giving away your power. And the truth is, nobody values your life more than you do. Nobody knows your vision more clearly than you do. And nobody can fight for your healing more fiercely than you can. Think about how easy it is to get caught in the trap of waiting. You tell yourself, "I'll move forward when someone believes in me. I'll rebuild when I get the apology. I'll start again when the right opportunity comes knocking. I'll heal when life gets easier." But life doesn't work like that. The apology might never come. The opportunity might not arrive. The people you're waiting on may never show up. And if they do, it still won't be enough because the responsibility was always meant to fall on you. Waiting is comfortable because it means you don't have to act. Waiting feels safe because it allows you to blame time and circumstances instead of yourself. But while you wait, life passes by. While you wait, days turn into months, months turn into years, and you're still in the same place because you haven't made the decision to own it. Taking responsibility is not a one-time choice. It's a lifestyle. It's a daily decision to say, no matter what has been done to me, I am in charge of what I do next. It's deciding that even if the foundation of your life is cracked, you are the one who will pour the new concrete. It's realizing that excuses, as comforting as they sound, never built anything. They never rebuilt anything either. What rebuilds is action, and action always begins with responsibility. Responsibility is freeing once you embrace it. Because as long as you think your future depends on somebody else, you are powerless. But the second you accept that it's yours to carry, the second you accept that you are the one who gets to make the next move, you take your power back. You realize you don't need anyone's permission to start over. You don't need anyone's validation to begin again. You don't need the perfect conditions to rebuild. You just need the courage to say, this is mine to fix. This is mine to shape. This is mine to fight for. You might look around and say, but I don't have the tools. I don't have the knowledge. I don't have the strength. You're wrong. You may not have everything, but you have enough to begin. You don't rebuild a life in a single day, but you can take a single step today. That's your responsibility. You may not feel ready, but responsibility isn't about how you feel. It's about what you choose. You may feel broken, but responsibility doesn't wait until you're whole. It demands action while you're still hurting. And that action, even if it's small, is what begins the healing. When you stop waiting for someone else to fix your life, you stop living as a victim of your past. Victims wait. Leaders take responsibility. Victims point fingers. Leaders look in the mirror. Victims hope. Leaders act. The moment you accept responsibility, you step into leadership of your own life. And leadership doesn't mean you have every answer. It doesn't mean you don't fall. It doesn't mean you never make mistakes. It means that you own your story, you own your choices, and you keep moving forward no matter how hard it gets. Sometimes taking responsibility will feel heavy. You'll want to blame others because it feels lighter. You'll want to complain because it feels easier. But heavy or not, easy or not, it's still yours. You can carry it with bitterness, or you can carry it with courage, but you can't put it down. Because the truth is nobody else is going to carry it for you. And once you embrace that reality, you can stop wasting energy wishing things were different and start using that energy to rebuild. Taking responsibility is the foundation of growth. It means you stop looking for shortcuts and start building real habits. It means you stop making excuses and start making progress. It means you stop living as if you're powerless and start realizing you have more control than you ever imagined. Responsibility is not punishment. It's empowerment. It's the reminder that no matter how many times life knocks you down, you get to decide how many times you get back up. If you want to rebuild your life, you have to stop outsourcing your happiness, stop outsourcing your peace, stop outsourcing your growth. Nobody is going to do it for you. And that's good news, because if nobody else is in charge, then nothing can stop you except you. If nobody else is holding the pen, then you get to write the story. If nobody else is steering, then the direction of your life is completely in your hands. And that's not something to fear. That's something to embrace. Rebuilding begins with small, consistent steps that create lasting change. Most people never rebuild their lives because they convince themselves it has to happen all at once. They think they need a grand plan, a perfect strategy, or a complete transformation overnight. That mindset kills progress before it even starts. The truth is, rebuilding isn't about flipping a switch. It's about laying bricks. One brick today, another tomorrow, another the next day. And when you look back weeks, months, even years later, you'll realize those small, simple steps built something solid, something lasting, something stronger than what you lost. We live in a world obsessed with speed and instant results. Everywhere you look, people are telling you to get rich fast, to get fit fast, to heal fast. But the problem with fast is that it rarely lasts. What really endures are the things that are built slowly, patiently, brick by brick. Think about any strong building you've ever seen. It didn't go up in one night. It took time, consistency, and small steps that eventually added up to something great. Rebuilding your life is no different. The hardest part is that small steps don't feel like much in the moment. You clean your room, and it doesn't feel like your life is rebuilt. You go for one run, and you don't suddenly feel healthy. You save $10, and it doesn't feel like wealth. You read one chapter, and it doesn't feel like wisdom. But those are seeds. They're not supposed to look like a full-grown tree on day one. They're supposed to be small, ordinary, almost invisible at first. But when they're consistent, when they're planted day after day, they grow into something real, something strong, something unshakable. Most people give up because they want the tree without planting the seeds. They want the result without the repetition. They want the big win without the daily discipline. But rebuilding your life doesn't happen in giant leaps. It happens in consistent steps. And the beauty of small steps is that anyone can take them. You don't need to have it all together to start. You don't need to be perfect to start. You don't need to feel strong to start. You just need to take the next step, however small, and then take another tomorrow. Consistency is the bridge between where you are and where you want to be. One workout doesn't make you strong, but 100 workouts do. One honest conversation doesn't heal a relationship, but months of honesty can. One decision to save money doesn't change your financial situation, but years of wise choices will. And the only way to get there is through the small, steady steps that add up when you're not even looking. Small steps also teach you patience. They teach you to appreciate the process instead of just craving the outcome. Because rebuilding isn't only about the destination, it's about who you become along the way. Every small act of discipline, every small choice to do what's right instead of what's easy shapes you. It builds character. It strengthens your resilience. It teaches you to trust yourself again. You stop seeing yourself as someone who always quits, someone who always fails, and you start seeing yourself as someone who shows up, someone who follows through, someone who rebuilds. It's important to understand that consistency doesn't mean perfection. You're going to stumble. You're going to miss days. You're going to make mistakes. But one mistake doesn't erase progress. One bad day doesn't destroy momentum. What matters is what you do after the stumble. Do you get back up? Do you keep going? Do you take the next step anyway? That's what separates those who rebuild from those who remain stuck. They don't let failure define them. They let consistency carry them. Sometimes small steps look so simple that people underestimate them. Waking up on time, drinking more water, writing your thoughts down, reading 10 pages of a book, choosing to walk instead of sit, saying no to something destructive. These actions look tiny, but they are powerful because they build momentum. And momentum is what creates change. Once you start stacking these small wins, you build confidence. You start to believe again that you can rebuild, and that belief pushes you to keep going. When you focus on small, consistent steps, you also stop overwhelming yourself. If you look at the entire picture of your broken life, it feels impossible to rebuild. The weight is too heavy, the task too big. But if you zoom in and say, all I have to do today is one step, it becomes manageable. You can take one step. And tomorrow you can take another. That's how impossible becomes possible. By breaking it down into small, consistent actions that you can handle. Think about the people you admire, the ones who have rebuilt after tragedy, failure, or loss. Their stories sound inspiring now, but behind those stories were thousands of small steps that nobody saw. Hours of practice, years of discipline, countless choices that didn't look like much at the time, but eventually added up to a life rebuilt. What makes their story powerful isn't one dramatic moment. It's the accumulation of consistency over time. The small steps also force you to focus on what you can control. You can't control the past. You can't control who hurt you. You can't control what opportunities didn't come your way. But you can control your habits. You can control your choices. You can control the steps you take every single day. And when you commit to the small things, when you take responsibility for the little actions within your control, life starts to shift in ways you never imagined. Consistency also builds trust with yourself. Every time you say you're going to do something and then you do it, you're rebuilding your confidence. You're proving to yourself that your word matters. And the more you trust yourself, the more risks you're willing to take, the bigger steps you're willing to attempt. But it all starts with keeping those small promises. If you can't keep the small ones, you won't keep the big ones. If you can't build consistency in the little things, you'll crumble under the weight of bigger challenges. Rebuilding your life will never be about one big decision, one lucky break, or one giant leap. It will always come down to the daily grind, the unseen habits, the choices made when nobody is watching. Those are the bricks that build a foundation you can stand on. And once you understand that, once you truly embrace the power of small, consistent steps, nothing can stop you from rebuilding what was lost and creating something even greater in its place.